It's the Nationals champions quarterfinals. My name is Seymour. With me is Vincent. We got a matchup that I am super excited for. Vincent, Cumberland Maroon take on Pace Gold. How you feeling, buddy?
Listen, I've been on the Counter Strike grind today, and I'm glad to come back to some Valorant, especially some collegiate Valorant. So I'm pumped to be
Bro,
here and pumped to get this thing started.
what is this Counter Strike you speak of? It is
Uh,
foreign to my knowledge. I have no idea what this game that you are
Sort
talking
of like
about
a
is.
unicorn, like mythical.
Oh. Well, those don't exist, and neither does that game. Today, we got Valorant on our minds, Vincent. Let's take a look at our teams that we're going to be paying attention to here in the Champions Division. Cumberland Maroon. I mean, this is a team that, heading into the playoffs, 2-0 versus UMass Beacons in round of 16. They played Ascent and Breeze. And let me tell you, it was easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. Heading into this
Yeah,
match for the semifinal or for the quarterfinals, they're looking to make it happen again.
yeah. I mean, they made it look pretty simple. They made it look pretty simple in the regular season run as well for this spring and in the fall. So I'm looking to see what Vortex, Norm, Zin, and Siddiq Infamy?
I think so.
We'll figure it out. But yeah,
Oh,
I was a little confused. I think this is the pace roster.
yeah. It's backwards. It's turned around. Well, let's flip it because talking about pace, I mean, heading into the playoffs, this team had a little bit of to prove, and you could see those struggles in their first game of round of 16, 2-1 versus UT Dallas. They lose the sunset, and then they go overtime on back-to-back maps. I mean, heading into the quarterfinals, if there's one thing on my mind for this team, Vincent, it's improvement into this week. You don't want to head into the semifinals in another close matchup. You're just going to be winded.
I mean that is true, but what we do know is these guys are grinders, right? They're gonna stick it out. They're gonna make sure that even if it takes all the rounds and a little bit more, that they're gonna make their way through regardless. And I think coming up against this Cumberland Phoenix Maroon team, it's gonna be a tall task, at least on paper, because
Yeah.
I mean Cumberland, they have a very good program, right? I mean, there is a lot of names on this Cumberland roster that I recognize that I'm kind of zoned in and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've seen these guys play before, and it's been consistent there for that roster. And I mean, I think names that kind of jump out to
Yeah.
me, John, for example, alongside Swarm. There is absolutely a lot to look forward to, I think, for this Cumberland team.
It's John Valorant. Everybody knows John Valorant. I think this Cumberland Phoenix team, I'm alongside you. I mean, this is a very strong team that I think everybody's looking forward to seeing play last season in the spring. 6-1 regular season. They don't have the finish that they were expecting, fifth to sixth place. I'm sure they're looking for improvement, and this is kind of where that improvement starts here in the Champions Division, and then hoping to get promoted yet again back in towards Legends. I'm sure a lot of these players are looking for that revenge story for themselves. But we've already talked about Cumberland. We hyped them up. 13-4, 13-6 in the round of 16 matchup. They swept through that one, and now they're looking to do it again. Let's take a look at the maps for this series. Vincent, I am ecstatic for what we have. And I know you're ecstatic too. You get
Yeah.
that ban on Bind, ban on Breeze, get them out of here. We got Icebox, Lotus, and Ascent to be playing today. A whole lot of hoopla in a best of three.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I told you the green room. I'm typically an Icebox hater, but I'm actually excited to see a little bit of Icebox today because alongside Lotus and Ascent, I think Icebox is going to bring some new, some fun things to the table here. I think the big question mark for me coming into this is, right, Cumberland have been played in Legends this past semester. Not true of Pace, even though they did really well in Champions. How much is that going to matter? I think it's going to matter quite a bit. We shall see as we look into it. I mean, I think that relatively this game should be Cumberland's. That's kind of my
Okay.
vibe
I mean,
coming into this one.
it's their map pick. They're wanting to go to Icebox. They're feeling like this is where their best of three is going to begin with a bang. And, after last week's or last match in the round of 16, I'm sure Cumberland are just looking to ride the wave right now. And Icebox heading into it, I mean, you look at the series Icebox, Lotus, Ascend, Vincent. There's not a whole lot of experimenting that you're going to be doing with agents on these three maps. The meta is set in stone. It's been set in stone for a very long time. I think for Icebox, the most you're going to be choosing as a team on this map is, do you want to run a double initiator or do you want to run a double controller for this one? Because a lot of time on the attacking side, it's going to come down to the info gathering or the info denial in that point. So I'm kind of looking to see if both of these two teams kind of have their heads wrapped around the meta and what they're going to be cooking up when it comes down to the agents. Because for Pace, I mean, I hope they're going to be sticking to the meta. I don't really want to see them stray from the norm.
Well, how about a double duelist? Because I don't disagree with what you're saying by any means, Seymour, but it looks to me like we got some of those double duelists
All right.
down here for Cumberland Phoenix. And I think that when you have some of the individual firepower that Cumberland do, this makes a little bit of sense at times. I think what's wild, actually, is a Sage. I don't know the
It's
last
kinda
time
weird.
I've seen a Sage here.
I mean,
Genuinely.
it's like a staple to Icebox having a Sage. You put the wall up in two, make sure that nobody can push up and get middle map control or sneak into your spawn early on. And I think Zin's going to be looking to kind of patch some holes into the armor. That is Icebox, and hopefully I'd say when you're playing a Sage, your whole mind is like, okay, I got to funnel the enemy team in towards my teammates. And I think that Sage wall is going to really help for a map like Icebox, where there are plenty of lanes to kind of sneak past enemy lines, especially when you're playing up against a double duelist. Swarm and Renee are both going to be looking for kind of areas to penetrate that defense, get through into the back line, and make sure you can open up some routes for your team to get towards that site. It's going to be really important for, looks like Infamy, not Zin, to make the most of this Sage, because these days it is a very unorthodox pick.
Yeah, I mean, I like you say, back to sort of the old days, but I don't dislike that. I think that like you mentioned, there's a lot of options available to them. I think the real question actually for me coming into this map, and it's a basic one, how to deal with the double duelist. If Cumberland's double duelist composition is firing on all cylinders, I think Norm's going to have a lot of work to do to get started here. So with that, let's jump into the action.
All right.
Cumberland here on the defense to begin with, and you're going to see first round underway. Spike towards A.
You like to party?
Majority.
You like to party, Vincent?
I'm not actually a partier.
Oh, man, neither is Swarm. That's crazy. Tried to lead the party over through mid. Swarm's going to go down. That's a duelist out of the hands of Cumberland, and this double duelist on defense definitely seemingly going to struggle. You do see that newer Viper wall to block off the top side of the A site. Infamy going to push on through. Renee goes down, and that's going to put a lot of trouble here to Jaredo. It's got to pick up the slack. The Sage wall is going to be blocking the full rotation, so Jaredo hoping to just take these head-on fights. And that's going to bring us into a 3-on-3. Infamy tucked away in the back corner.
But I think that recon bolt might have given their position away. Massive, especially with K on the flank.
Oh my. It's a 1v2. And look at that. Classic. Buy the send bundle. Buy the send bundle, because Infamy is going to get it all.
Oh my goodness. Ye old right click coming to play right there for Pace. It's a quad kill for Infamy to put them on the board. Starting out strong, especially when you're on your opponent's map pick. All of that going to be looking good. And, I mean, all the right things done there by Cumberland. They actually had the information. Just needed to try and take those fights a little bit more together, especially once you got down into the 1-on-2. But not much to speak of for this round, though. Rin has actually pulled out a Marshall here, which gonna be interesting. They're playing very aggressive.
Yeah, this is not an angle you're gonna read, and Renee actually gonna get away with murder onto Norm. Dashes away. That's an opening for Cumberland. Swarm's gonna double down. Nice shots with the Sheriff. The buy up right now for Cumberland, proving to be a little bit troublesome. That is gonna bring a full halt, and all this is going down. John is getting a lot of information through B long. Soon enough, it's gonna be nowhere to go for Pace Gold.
And ambitious is what I called it, but hey,
it works.
It works.
Yeah.
That's right. That might be results-oriented thinking, but results are all that matter at the end of the day. The number up the top, as I'm fond of mentioning. Recon Bolt going to gather even more information, and Pace Gold actually really haven't found a lot of space to work with. Once they lose those opening engagements, they're looking for anyone to reaggress elsewhere, and Cumberland haven't given them the time of day.
No, in fact, John fully aggresses into the attacker spawn and then digresses back over towards B. So giving up a lot of space for Pace to kind of work through this map. Okay. Watching through two. Zin gonna find a trade finally. Zin's gonna bring things back. 21 seconds to work this B site though, and Swarm's listening for the rotations. Recon Dart's gonna spot them. Swarm though, shot in the back of the head. Vortex trades out Swarm. The overheal. They're gonna do the Lord's work here. The Sheriff in hand. Vortex tucked away. The Shock Dart's gonna confirm the kills in. 1 versus 3. Bulldog in hand. Spike is planted. And a flank unfolding from Renee. Zin has no idea. I don't think Zin's gonna get the memo. Renee, free kill there. Thrifty round for Cumberland Phoenix.
I mean, this is the terrifying proposition. They don't even really invest here, Seymour. This is not a full force buy. This is just that one Marshal plus the Sheriffs that you can typically afford into the second round being fantastic for Cumberland Phoenix Maroon. They pulling it off, and I think especially after they get that initial pick, right, Rin does a great job of picking that up, but then the second frag comes in, a lot of teams would be really aggressive, take a ton of space across the map, but that's not what Cumberland do. They let Pace essentially try and push that space back as if they had taken it. It's as if they got the value without actually taking the risk.
Yeah, and you're kind of using your biggest tool, time, in that whole sense. As soon as, you know, Pace finally like, all right, let's hit B, there's no time. And Cumberland can use that panic to ensue chaos onto that execute and pick them off one by one, which they do. Looks like Pace Gold gonna pick up the pace over towards B this time. An immediate hit over the Viper wall is gonna be blocking off sight. Sage wall is gonna annihilate the snake bite, but not fully. Infamy 10 HP. Going for the plant, but wall's down, and John's gonna find it. Swarm back in. Phantom and Vandal absolutely decimating Pace Gold, denying the spike plant and denying the map control. 3 versus 2. In fact, actually, I'm gonna say Pace is doing quite a bit of damage here. Swarm's gonna try to eliminate the rest with no damage further. Triple kill from Swarm, and Cumberland get it done.
Nicely done indeed. The real tragedy there for Pace is that they don't get the spike down. I think it was, I'm not sure who, I think Vortex was actually the one on the plant. Whoever it was ends up coming off of it at the last moment as the wall gets destroyed, and that's just so unfortunate. Not only, I mean, you should be expecting the Nano Swarm and the Snake Bite at this point, but the fact that they don't even get the plant off the back of that, I mean, think about the post plant. 2 on 3, that's a very winnable post plant. But without the spike down, it's nigh unwinnable. Pace Gold, and they find that out the hard way.
Yeah. Troublesome things brewing here on Icebox, and Renee's looking to do it again. Norm has an inkling of the idea, but it's the Empress of Swarm who's taken full control of A. The overheal keeps Swarm alive enough to disengage from that site, but it's still Ren that you have to worry about fishing for a second kill of the round.
I think Norm actually spotted Rin there on the jump spot. Problem is that you don't have anybody really available.
Up. Oh, angle. 17 health. Barely getting away. Take a look at Vortex here. The turret's going to give it all away. And oh boy, Vortex has to be careful. Here comes the hunting party.
He stuck around. Oh no.
You should run.
Gerardo.
There's a
timing. Oh, Vortex blindsided by the Sova. Everything's going wrong for Pace. Even the lockdown here is not going to stop Renee from getting that kill. There's a safe haven into the back of the site. And some room to work with. Shorty's out. Up close. Spots the barrel. Not going to get the kill, but up top and above, Gerardo's going to get the finisher. 3 kills in the round from Gerardo. Lovely from Cumberland.
We got this.
you know, there's a lot of space that Vortex is taking there. I like the intention behind what Vortex was trying to do, but as soon as they're spotted, rotations start coming in, and the walls slowly close it around them at tube. That wasn't even the worst part of it. A little bait and switch from Ren and Swarm was fantastic. That's what net Swarm, that opening frag. Sure, the Empress helps, but Norm was so worried about Ren, they didn't even have an inkling that Swarm could be close by.
Oh, here we go. Ren's going to open up the round again. This time the operator sings. Vortex going down. It's going to mean a whole lot of information that you can't deny. Look, Swarm's just walking right up. John pinching onto the Killjoy of Pace Gold, and I'm not sure they have any idea that this is happening. So much space being taken from Cumberland Phoenix.
Oh, but this is crazy timing.
The wrap and the wraps in's gonna open up at an angle.
One down.
John goes down. Norm, a second one. 2 versus 3 as Swarm's gonna strike, but in the corner, Norm lands the no-scope.
Player standing.
Patience doesn't pay off for K, and it's a 1 versus 2.
Yeah, but Swarm, quick on this flank, starting to get very fast and active as well.
Remaining.
Easily will pick up the first, and I'll just have to contend with one more. And
Norm's
now
got
knows
you up.
precisely where they are.
Swarm's gonna go for the tap. Up and above. Lots of noise being made here, and Norm just not listening for it. Swarm
Don't insult me.
dancing around the site, making sure nothing goes the way of Pace Gold. They get the spike plant, they bring it to the 1v1, but in the end, Cumberland, they put away the clutch.
A little chaotic, got a little bit wild there towards the end of the round. Cumberland maybe finding themselves a little bit too far forward on that A site. And Pace Gold take advantage, but, well, we already know Swarm got the clutch in the car, that's for sure. 9 and 3. Apparently putting together a very impressive individual showing for their team. Pace, though, come into this thing with some pretty big weapons. I mean, it's a rifle round, that true as well, but
I got the
Hunter's
spike.
Fury, Blade Storm if you wanted to go crazy, and there's a res, which, you know, situational as it is, having that extra life never hurts.
Oh, no, it doesn't. And eventually, you have to see some impact from the Sage, but this round Swarm, it doesn't get better than that. Not sure if it was a collateral, not sure if it was a spray down, but it's a double kill nonetheless, and should start some chaos here. Swarm looking for Morzin, puts the Reyna to rest, and there's a trade down the middle of the map. Hopefully to salvage this round. John looking to aggress it on the angle, reads him like a book.
Well, okay, Zen's made this interesting, put things back into an even 3-on-3. Spreading back out, or Cumberland, they need to split their attention, and K is solo here at A.
Okay, can shut this down. Smoke's gonna falter, and that's the spike planter killed.
A. One enemy
Ren's gonna bring it into a 1v3. Siddiq, Vandal in hand, turret gets the information, and you are trapped. Nowhere to go.
Oh my goodness, the owl drone there's flying over the dead body is the maximum BM I've ever seen. That's awesome.
Is that BM? It's BM that I didn't even know was BM until I got to see it.
So I'll be real, it may not have been BM, but like in my brain, oh yeah. Like, come on.
Are you the type of guy though to like lose anything and like be like, nah, that's BM?
No, I'm not.
That's cap. I know you are.
Whoa.
We've played ranked
allegations.
games together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an example. Give me an example of this.
Look, I cannot share that example on
There's
stream.
currently a timeout. We have time.
It's not safe for stream.
NFSS? Not safe for stream?
Nope.
Okay.
So, you know, everybody tuned in to the stream watching, it's just going to have to be up to your imagination. But Vincent's a hater.
I am a hater, actually. That is a true statement. I am, one could say I am a professional hater, actually.
Isn't that a form of casting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, listen, it's not that bad. But I know people who would say that's true.
It's definitely not wrong. I wouldn't say it's
Exactly.
true.
That's the problem.
No.
No.
No, it's not. It's not a form of casting. We're wrong.
Get out of
I
my way.
apologize, Observer.
Our Observer Rachel has very strong views, apparently. Our bad.
Yeah. Or maybe no
was-
to the BM. Maybe it's not BM.
Here.
Oh, could be true. Could be true.
Gotta read between the lines.
Yeah, that's fair.
And right
We're
now,
looking-
I mean, those lines are a bunch of Blade Storms. Swarm, this is an egregious angle. Double chows out. Still gets away with the kill.
I mean, that's the beauty of playing on Arena. Right? You get the opportunity to go for these types of plays.
Femi says nope, and welcome back to the servers in. Another chance to live. K, can you be the dagger again?
Actually, as a lockdown, maybe not the time to be playing so aggressive.
Oh, the wall's going to get broken, and this is where the lockdown can come into handy. Hunter's Fury, though, denies the spike from getting planted again. Pace cannot catch a break when it comes to sticking the spike in the ground.
Bro, they can't get it down. I mean, it's been one thing after another that stops them.
All right, okay, wall back up. Siddick's going to bring it into a 4 versus 3. Numbers for Pace, and here's the lockdown that's going to dissuade them from the site. Now we're going to keep their numbers. Norm stays around. Rotation, though, it's going to be a scuffle through the middle of the map. Ren's here to shut the cross down. Siddick's going to get caught. We're in a 3v3. And K brings it to a 2v3.
Well, this is wild. I mean, Ren's already here. There's just no possible way to get past this, and they're headed for the save. Pace are done.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. There's no time. I was thinking, you know, Norm stuck around over towards B. You're open to keep this rifle in your hand. 2 seconds left. And yeah, it's going to save. But if there was a little bit more time in that round, Norm sticking over towards B could have been huge. And time is the biggest killer right now of Pace Gold. Time and trying to get that spike in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, how many times has it been denied? A couple of defuses, sure, but one of those is that 1-on-2 for Swarm, and the other is just the second round. So you got to ask the question, right? How many times is Pace going to get that wall up, for example? You talked about the presence and the protection that the Sage Wall might provide. Clearly not happening. Dude, how deep is he?
I mean, so deep. Just hashtag deep right now. John, front line. K gets 2. 3 HP, stays alive. And now Ren gonna be able to work this flank. Absolutely unfold with this Blade Storm, but it's not gonna come to that. K gets 3 in the round, and the Phoenix find their 7th.
And I think that K taking that gunfight at 3 HP gives you an idea of the confidence that Cumberland are going into this game with, or currently have, right? A team that are playing a close series, that are kind of playing safely as possible, they're not taking that fight, right? But 3 HP, K's swinging wide, like, and not just swinging wide, still committing to a drawn-out gunfight on 3 health. I mean, again, that's confidence showing.
I mean, that's confidence showing. The scorer is confidence showing, and Swarm and Ren just getting away with everything is confidence on top of it. Gerardo
Last player standing.
gonna shut down the rest. We're into a 1 versus 3. And Siddick's gonna bring it into a 1v2, but there's a flank from John. If Siddick can read this, be ready for it. Maybe a 1 versus 1. But will Siddick read K? K is wrapping off this site, but should hear the footsteps.
Yeah, it's certainly going to know now. Listen, the biggest problem is trying to get the drop. You're up high, got to make some noise to get down low. And what a timing here for Siddick to drop into screens. Oh my goodness.
So much for K to check, so much to worry about. And Siddick playing it quietly. It pays off for a round win. Finally, Pace breakthrough.
Siddick 1v3, baby. That's what we like to see. Pace Gold. Sometimes what you need is just a little bit of an individual popping off and playing their best Valorant yet. And that's what we see right there from Siddick, doing it for his team. Picking up a second round, something worthwhile for Pace to latch onto. Of course, it's not going to be the end of the run here for Cumberland because they've still got boatloads of money to rebuy.
Pace have boatloads of time, too. If they can start dismantling this aggression, putting some rounds on the board, 7-5 doesn't sound too bad. Ren looking to stay alive. Gerardo is here. The kill on the Swarm is going to open up this lockdown. Ren now going to have to go deep for this one. Barely sticking around here. Gerardo aggress through mid. Lockdown's going to stay in play. Gerardo's got to run to the hills. Do you get away? Gerardo won't. The taint's going to happen. Maybe a spike plants here, but Ren right back in. Wall's gonna get denied. Infamy traded out. John gets a double kill. Norm brings it into 2v3. Now 2v1. This time Gerardo. They do exactly what the Sova counterpart did just last round. Siddick in 1v2. 3. Can't Jared get this 1 versus 2. 3 bullets in the chamber. Will it be enough? Has to reload, but the position's going to be known. Time now. Your biggest enemy. And Jared's going to salvage one at the ground, though. Norm ready, close as ever. 3 rounds. Pace get another.
Okay, so it doesn't matter, but Jared, you just reloaded your gun. Why'd you pick it up a Vandal off the ground for, Blood? What's going on? You picked up one with less bullets, Seymour.
I respect it. You know, it's one of those things that, hey, I have 3 bullets in my gun, 2 players on the other team. It only takes 2 shots.
But he reloaded. He had 30. He had them all. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It didn't end up mattering for the round, but I don't know. I find it hilarious.
Lots of respect for Jared, but I think Pace had that round nonetheless.
Yeah, they certainly did. They weren't going to be giving away free swings.
Well, John used the Viper's Pit here. That's what I'm wondering. Dart's going to give away John's position, and now here, possibility for the ultimate to get used. Yeah, John's going to unleash the domain on site. It's not going to stop Pace, actually. John's going to get caught in the Hunter's Fury. Would be huge to shut it down. Infinity gets red. And that's going to call for a disengage. They're going to give it up. Not before Cynic finds John.
That's wild that Cynic catches that. Just timing through the smoke. They got a cloud burst for the cross, understanding that they lost a life or 2 on the last time. They didn't have that sort of coverage out mid.
Over under on Jared finding 4 here.
Not if he overswings a little bit.
I mean, that is soaring under.
Well, I'm glad I didn't take any bets on that one. Seems like Pace Gold have found some form.
Yeah, and it just comes down to, I mean, wouldn't you know, they're pacing.
All right.
Electric so far in the server. Swarm, though, still alive. That might be an issue. Infinity says no worries. 3 kills for the Sage. Kane a 1v3. Position is known. 51 health, and you're dancing around these bullets. Infinity's going to finally land one through the wall. And Pace Gold, from what was 7-1 down, they have climbed back 3 rounds in a row.
Nicely done. I mean, and it all starts with that huge clutch from Cynic. I mean, it's sometimes just one thing that helps your team mentally get back into the server, back in business. Starts with Cynic, but Infamy in the last round picks up 4. Massive move for them. We're into the last round of the half. I didn't catch what the buy was like, but I feel like Cumberland probably don't have the best cash.
I wouldn't expect them to. I mean, they've just been full buying round after round. Norm's going to spot John.
Here.
So a little bit of information that the Viper is in and around. Now for the Sage wall. They've struggled to get the plant, but they're going to actually reposition it. Viper's Pit now for Pace to set up. Hunter's Fury on the other side. Jared, can you fish for anything? It lands just for damage.
So no denial on that spike plant. Something pretty big that we've been seeing have a lot of impact. Viper's Pit denied with the lockdown.
He gets traded. Norm finds 2. 3 versus 3 and 0 players detained on the attacking side. They have the post plan, and Zin's going to shut down the flank. Swarm on an off angle. Gonna have to reach for this one. 1 versus 2 for Swarm. The turret goes up. Emperor's going to be popped, but both players playing for the time here. They know their win condition. They know what they need to do. And it doesn't seem like Swarm has enough time to do anything. He's going to tap it. The double swing. Zin puts it away. 7-5 at the half. Welcome back, Pace.
I mean, talk about a recovery, Seymour. I mean, I'm like writing down the numbers like 7-1. You know, I mean, Swarm's farming. Gyarados playing well. Like, all of these things. And then Pace, off the back of the 1v3, they come out and they come out to play. 7-5 is just not what I was expecting to be seeing at halftime, concerning the first 8 rounds of this game.
Out of charges.
Well played for Pace to get back in this game.
And I wasn't lying when I said it. It really comes down to the rhythm that they set towards the back half. They started to actually take these battles versus Ren and Swarm, deny the duelists of any presence on these early engagements. And after you take Swarm and Ren out of the equation, it opens up so much of the map.
Especially when they're both pushing so aggressively. Speaking of, got some more of that this time for the defensive pace.
They want to fight for A. They're going to put that Sage wall up. That's going to funnel Ren up top and trying to get the trade. Norm's their second of the round. Swings around with Infamy. Takes down Swarm. It's down to 2 members from the Phoenix.
Last player
Hopefully bring this one back, but it's on John for the 1 versus 5. 22 HP, a minute 7. Lots of time to dance around, but John is trapped on site. Norm's repositioned. No information on the jet, and that's going to do it.
So with the pistol round, I mean, it's technically their second of the game, but hopefully they can convert in a way that they weren't able to last time around. Considering that now on the attack side, Cumberland, a little more difficult, I think, to find value out of these sheriffs. It can be
Here.
a bit more tough. So pace, they've set themselves up for, they've already kind of made the comeback, but to complete the comeback. Made the right moves. This is a familiar look. Ren.
Oh,
chilling with
buddy.
the Marshall.
That's both pistols won by Pace. Last time Pace won the pistol, it was 7 rounds in a row for Cumberland off of a Thrifty, and Gerardo opens up the round. Swarm finds the second one. I'm getting deja vu. Siddick's going to have to go big here with the Spectre, but instead looking to back on down. John's going to continue to push forward. It's a 3 versus 2.
I'm getting deja vu as well. Hard not to, considering this setup.
And he's going to upgrade. You're walking into the lion's den right now if you're Pace. Swarm's got a Guardian. Tapping away. How do you dismantle this puzzle? Some might say throw it at the ground, but Ren's on the flank, and it's intact. Thrifty again from Cumberland. They do it twice.
Just a
Okay, we know the
yikes
drill.
there. Pace,
Stick to
come
your
on,
roles
guys.
and we'll
Gotta
finish
be able to play against the anti-eco. That is unfortunate that Pace been unable to take those important wins. I don't think the Outlaw was recovered. This is another Outlaw being bought.
Yeah, and I don't hate that because, man, does that gun pack a punch.
Sure does. Time to roll. I think Pace had left it where it is. Not going to be forcing back in or anything like that.
So they get the ult orb, they get out, but Infamy has to be careful. Gerardo's going to open up the round again. Outlaw is going to find its mark. Ren up and above. Second, this time Swarm. Infamy's going to be spotted, and it's all falling apart. It's all collapsing in front of our eyes, Vincent.
Well, or maybe it's getting back into the same position as the expectations were for Cumberland. Because I gotta tell you, the way they played those first 8 rounds, looked like a different team. Towards the back half of the first half. Back half of the first half. Yeah, that's what I meant. But here we go again.
The back of the first half now
Keep
looking
them
for the
caught in the-
back of the, or the front of the back half. Yeah.
About as confusing as we could have made it.
Scanning
Genuinely.
ahead.
So job done. Good job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ren, oh, on top of 2. Didn't see too much out of this from Pace. It's like Zen is on red alert for this mid control. It looks like it's going to be a split to B. John looking for a way around Norm. What a shot from
Okay.
downtown.
I mean, that's such a deep angle.
And Vortex is going to get a second one. Exactly what you want to see at the early draw here from Pace. They've been losing those first duels again and again since that Thrifty. Swarm's going to answer back. Ren, Gerardo. Oh, no.
It's all falling apart. The blink of an eye, and they're all gone. They've been snapped out of existence. Pace.
They don't even know where to look. I mean, Ren's just kind of throwing them through a loop. Infamy is going to give their information away. Trades onto Swarm. Ren still lurking out and about, and they know exactly where Infamy is. No chance on the swing around. Ren's going to win the round. Bring Cumberland to double
I
digits.
got your backs. Just just,
Seymour, that was a
you know,
5 on
on the
3.
front.
It should have been, I mean, the word unlosable shouldn't really exist in my vocabulary, but on paper, that's unlosable.
Should have been impossible. Like, you
I
had
mean,
everything.
Cumberland, just 3 individual duels happen literally simultaneously, and that's where things all go wrong. The B site opened up. They can get into the post plant, and of course, as you mentioned, Rin was just maintaining infamy information that entire time.
And they were just so scared at re-engaging for that. Norm trades out, opening. It's swarmed down,
Sage killed.
but K's not going to stop here. K's going deep. Norm in trouble. Wow, gets away with it. Looking for 2. Ren keeps numbers in the favor of Cumberland. Looking for the round as well. 360. Oh,
What do you mean, Ren? You monster! You madman! That isn't fair! It's not right! You shouldn't do that to him! Oh boy.
oh boy. I would call a timeout too.
Yo, same here, my friend.
I don't blame you after that one. And it's all started good too. It comes down to these opening duels. If Pace can secure these kills and play their life like they did, not in the last round, but the round prior to this one, it's all nice and dandy, but it comes down to controlling that map control after you find that success. Every single time that you see Pace finding these opening duel wins, they're backpedaling. They're backing up. They're giving Cumberland space to work instead of trying to fight back with those numbers. And as soon as you give these Cumberland players a little bit of room, they're going to make it home.
Seymour, am I allowed to say that was BM? Like, are you gonna roll me and pretend like that wasn't?
Oh, I mean, like, that was BM.
Hey, okay. I was just, listen, you give me a hard time before, you're like, oh, Vincent just really likes to call things BM. Okay. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Sustained.
I love how you're like the prosecution and the judge in this scenario. It's great.
Don't worry about it.
Conflict of interest, Your Honor.
None here.
I tried.
Ren looking for the 2 play again up top. Infamy fighting for this one. And a lot of bodies here to combat Ren. That's going to be an early kill for Pace. Let's see if they can work for this one. I want to see map control, but immediately K aggressing onto B, not letting go of this relentless pressure.
Okay, he's in a good spot to potentially win this round. Spike can't go down yet. There's a Hunter's Fury to deny that for the defense as well. But it's going to be too late. They're not going to be able to get away with it. That's damage, though, and a kill.
I love it. It's an ult used, but it has value. K's going to be spotted. Infinity expecting it, and Norm puts the cherry on top. 1 member falls for Pace. It's a near flawless round. And an easy, plenty of time for the defuse. Looks like they're going to give it over towards Zin, get closer to that lockdown. But most importantly, for this, you deny the Phoenix of map point here on Icebox. So, Pace, instead of having all the pressure weighing down on their shoulders of, you have to play perfect, you can't make any mistakes, they have room to experiment still. Try to get aggressive.
It's nice because, like I said, the pressure just builds almost infinitely as you get to that 12th round. So, good news, though, for Cumberland. They still have a big back of weaponry, money available to them.
They got deep pockets.
Be faster.
Whoa.
Well, good shots as well.
Norm just barely getting away. And look at this again, backpedaling. And this is where Cumberland work at their best. Sage Wall's going to go up, but now Ren, denied, swatted like a fly. Get out of there.
Ren made that play before. Norm learned their lesson.
Oh, but John, what a shot with the Phantom. That's going to call for the Viper Spit. He's going to get rezzed. Swarm jumps around, looking for 2. Swarms. Oh, finds Zin.
1 enemy remaining.
Absolutely working magic around them. Vortex in a 1v1. John has the Viper Spit on the edge. Runs right through it.
Bruh. I mean, just another example of playing on supreme confidence. John just taking the timing swing, You're never expecting that if you're Pace. You can't be.
That's Sean Valorant
what-
for you.
I mean, it's a 1v1. The Viper has their pit to play in, and they're W keying you. I mean, again, a good play. I like the play. It's just, how do you expect? How do
It's
you
a bold
anticipate
call.
that?
You
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. He's got the balls.
That's what we call a check play right there. I mean, no way you read that, and as soon as it happens, you're like, I guess I should have expected it. And your
He's
check,
just the
swarm,
guy.
swarm, no way. Making so much noise, absolutely running through mid. You're not gonna get away with it this time.
I mean, that was an ambitious strategy, I'll tell you that.
Deploying drone.
Cynic has the space to owl drone out. That's currently more
Hunter's Fury.
information.
Cynic's dancing. Gerardo's gonna find it. No extra damage, but a kill secured.
Problem is, there's so many players here at A. Like,
One
at least they have the
enemy
entire
remaining.
army ready to play.
Yeah, Norm's just tucked away. Easy peasy for Norm. An 8th round for Pace Gold. They're starting to get back into it. You know, if Pace Gold could cook the way they do in the back half like they do, or sorry, the front half like they do in the back half, these games would be totally different. You know, on top of it, if Pace Gold can win a second round off of their pistols, this game would be a totally different game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Right? I mean, it's rare that you see a team win both pistols but not get either second round. They can't win the follow-up off the back of it. That's crazy.
That was crazy once.
Not this again. Gotta put in for a new caster. Mine's broken.
I like to be in a room. An icy
Like-
room.
3 years ago.
You should run.
Icy room with Radianite.
All right, we're swapping things up. I like it. Lockdown in for the site. Taking the fight.
Cynic.
Cynic.
Whoa,
Nice
Norm
shot.
Spike
gets
planted.
out. And a little bit of respect here from Pace. So they're going to retake this 5v4.
This is winnable. Base. I mean, they have the space to work with. Just gonna set up for the post plant. Most everybody
Gyarados.
giving up some space.
3 members spotted with the owl drone, so they know Pace is here. Ren spots the barrel. Aggressive through the wall. Here's the Viper's Pit from Pace. Zin's going to take down K. It's a 3v5, and Ren's going to get spotted. Norm clears their corner. Wall is up. Defuse is down. And Pace are climbing.
That's so tough for whoever was in the corner there. Oh my goodness. Norm passes by, just barely sees them on the edge of their screen.
It's rule number 1. Check your corners.
Yeah. Not only that though, but I mean, big moment for the wall there from Infamy. Of course, the Viper's Pit was down, so that covered off the fact that that was up, and so Cumberland, they didn't know that they needed to take steps to contend with it.
Keep up.
And I'm loving the relentless pressure that Cumberland continues to lay down in these rounds. They're just layering pressure over and over again. But there we see Pace show the respect to the lockdown and retake it with numbers. It's just perfect. Using that lockdown, or using the Viper's Pit to its best.
Oh, what a crazy move from K. Just lurking through their own...
Swarms in the
toxic orb.
spawn. Swarms in the spawn. K finds a second one, but Cynic trades it. Still numbers. This could be it. Cumberland looking to put this one away, but Cynic is still alive, and we know he loves to clutch.
That clutch Shane in him for sure. There's a lot of space to clear out, though, and well, time not quite on their side.
Shock dart. Walls up. And Cynic's going to find a third one around the corner. Infinity brings it into a 1v1. K, 30 HP and time in your hands. Looks like Infamy is going to rush this one down, and it's not done yet.
And that could have been, I mean, K's moment to play passively. Didn't have to take that fight. Could have played some ring around the rosy and might have had a chance. Survive, but no. They stay alive, and it's 10 rounds. Double digits is theirs. Swap up.
Holy.
Change. Ace have brought it back.
I asked to see a little bit of value from this Sage. 21 and 16. It might not be from the abilities. You know, the wall has been clutch. And the orbs, too, spacing out these Phoenix members, isolating a lot of these fights. But on top of that, Infamy really stepping up when it comes down to the frag capabilities of this Pace team. Double digits. Ren's going to pop the blade. Cynic in a corner, tucked away. Does Ren read this? You did not. Such a tricky one. Now Vortex in yellow. Snakebite is down. Plenty of space to play. It looks like Vortex ready to tango. Orb goes up and easy passage out of here. Gerardo gonna have to go in deep to get this kill.
The fact that they're utilizing the owl drone there just to get confirmation on a player they already know, I think goes to show how careful Pace are playing right now. Don't want to give them any chances. They know how dangerous Cumberland can be.
Oh!
Me with a glad.
Just tapping away. You say they're playing careful. Infany's standing their ground. You know where K is? There's only 35 seconds.
30 seconds left.
I don't want to say it, Vincent.
Say it. Go ahead. Do it.
I'm feeling an overtime here.
You know, I hate that you're right. You are right.
The thing
It does
is,
seem like Pace have it in them.
it doesn't really matter what K does here. Cumberland are going to be able to buy up this last round. I think that is the silver lining right now for the Phoenix. They're being tested on their map pick of Icebox. Last week, round of 16, they swept their round of 16 match. Only giving up 10 rounds across the two maps. Pace have exceeded that. And I think they're really showing exactly what this school is made of.
I mean, I told you. We saw it in their game last week. Pace, they're a team that will grind it out. It doesn't matter if they're behind. This is what we expect from them.
Yeah.
They will put it all on the line throughout a game. All 24 rounds.
Mentality that not a lot of players can do, but Pace, so tricky to get past. Swarm's going to open things up. Pressure onto Vortex, but here's the trade. Vortex, anything more would be fantastic. John denies it. And now it's trouble. Pace, though, they have ultimates.
Rin might just have the cutoff here.
And Ren is hunting. Blade storms out for Norm. You know Ren's going to be in and around. Off angle with the Vandal. Listening for the footsteps with Norm. And the resurrection. 3 versus 2. Shorty is out and Norm's going to dunk on them. The help is in. Gerardo's going to give the information away and we're going the distance. Overtime on Icebox. Absolutely ridiculous from Pace. Never giving up.
I mean, Renee had the win condition right there. But Norm with the blades, it was too fast for it. And unfortunately, if they had known, if Cumberland were aware how low those Pace players were, we're talking a different story because, I mean, let's be real. Those shock darts, they could have found 2 kills. Instead, go to extra innings. It's another time for these players to shine. Slow down.
It's bold of you to make a baseball reference when NHL playoffs are on right now.
I mean, it's always baseball season, to be fair. You know how many games those guys play? It's crazy.
A lot.
Yeah.
Too much, some might say.
I would tend to agree. Baseball Mafia might come after me, so I'm just going to be quiet.
Bring it on.
You take on the whole Baseball Mafia?
Oh, yeah.
You, me, and what army?
You know, with a Tim Hortons coffee cup and a hockey stick.
You know, they opened a Tim's right next to me, actually.
Oh, yeah, well, you know,
I know it's fake because it's in the U.S., but, like, still.
I mean, you said it, not me. Here we go. Infamy's going to open up with the first blood of the round. That's a lot of information for Renee to work off of. Up and above, the toxic screen just barely blocking things off. Gerardo spaced out with the lock, or the swarm grenade. Backed up. And still Renee just picking away. Lots of damage. It looks like Cumberland just want to bleed them out, but Cynic finally lands a shot there. Gerardo's going to be taken out 4 versus 3. Ren gonna have to do a little bit more work here. No flank either. And they've actually pulled the rotation from K.
That's crazy. A falling back to B. Now the big question marks available here
30
for
seconds
Ren.
left.
That's going to give it away. Ren spotted in the corner. Walls up. And the break. Low HP on both of these members. Sean just sprays him down. The Phantom doing all the work. Pace brought down into a 2 versus 3. 12 seconds. No time to plans, especially when Ren is just lurking around the corner. John, a third one. Viper's Pit invested. Zin in the 1 versus 1. Enough time to get this plant off, Vincent.
Spike planted.
And
They
the
got it.
wall gives you space. K's here. The lockdown now for the attackers. K's got to make quick work. In through the wall. Does Zin expect it? Zin does! Oh! You never count them out!
Out of
1v3
Switching
for the
sides.
boys. It's Pace.
Match point.
Making the moves, and you know what? Well deserved there by Zin. That wall, I mean, it was absolutely outrageous. It played such a crucial part, both a problem and a solution for Pace in that round, because it gives Ren space to just chill behind. Like, it's a whole other obstacle on the site for the defense to make plays between. The same true once the defenders swap over, the spike gets planted, and Zen can take advantage.
You know, when Cumberland wins a round, it's near flawless. It's perfect. It's calm, strategic. When Pace wins a round, it is the nuttiest 1v1 I ever see. What a shot from John.
What you gotta expect from Mr. Valorant.
My bad.
Norm's got a lot of space to work with right here. Gonna get another post plant.
Swarm actually knows
Cynic has no idea.
the owl drone is up. I mean, this could be detrimental. Swarm's gonna get some space now to work with. Vortex is gonna have to clear it. The swing around. Swarm gets 2.
Remaining.
1 versus 3. Norm with the op.
We go again, maybe. Not a third 1v3. That would be absurd. That would be out of this world.
It would be quite unheard of. And Norm's gonna drop it for the Phantom.
Well, give it a go. There's literally nothing to lose.
Swarm's gonna hear this one though, so tucked away. Norm drops. Time
this.
is dwindling. Hopping the defuse. Both members should be here. And K's gonna put it away. Secures the round. Bold from Norm to hold it, but nothing more you can do. Only 3 seconds to get that defuse. You had to stick it.
Overtime.
There was really no other options. Took a little bit too much time trying to make the operator work, trying to force a pick, but nobody was giving him the time of day. And so, as I mentioned, we go again. Ace Gold had a chance to close. Their first chance, by the way. Found in overtime. First map point. Go for an op on Ren. Both defenses taking the operator, trying to make aggressive plays with it. Swarm, I've seen this before.
Oh, so have I. And it doesn't work out. The woes of Reyna sometimes may be good, sometimes may be bad.
Here.
Story. Gotta play aggressive to make some of those crazy moments happen, but sometimes you're caught out in the open. You look the fool. Rotations for Pace. They are very much playing together. I mean, this has been sort of the Pace game plan all game long. Nothing complicated. Whenever they're hitting a site, you know it's the site they're hitting. Fakes, what are those? We don't know about them. It also means that Pace, very tradable. Always able to get themselves back out of these tough positions.
That is really early on the swarm grenades. And K may be buying time for the rotations, but will you buy time to deny the spike plant again? The smoke's going to go down. K goes 1 for 1. The wall broken, but still Infamy gets the plant out.
You will not
Versus 3, and oh, Zin's going to get rezzed. But won't live through it.
That's unfortunate. A little stat padding.
All for info.
I mean, but yeah, to be fair, you've just gained a bunch of that, and there's so much more space to work with.
Look at Norm. Just collecting
Remaining.
on the outside of the yellow bin. Looking for everything, every ounce of success in this round, but Norm's not going to give him the time of day. Ren, this time with the op in a 1 versus 4. Norm gets it done. Pace back on match point.
Switching
I mean,
sides.
Seymour, how crazy would it be for Pace to win this map? I haven't said that yet, mostly because I don't know that I was ever a believer, even when we got to overtime, but 2 match points in a row? I think at that point, if you're not a believer, you're only a hater.
And we know you're plenty enough a hater for the two of us.
I mean, that's true. But this time, I'm reformed. I'm a
Really?
believer now
Oh,
in Pace.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll believe when I see it.
Reformed Vincent.
Oh. It's like your new
Trust me.
Pokemon region form.
It's possible, I promise. Cumberland, I mean, they've got so much space here today. I mean, this is crazy. They've, like, not made contact, and they have the whole site.
And Pace are okay with this. We know they like to retake.
Spike planted.
Only the issue is, last time they had ultimates to work with. This time they're playing against a Viper's Pit, so...
Not real. That's fake. Still a bug from late 2020.
Oh, yeah. I got fooled. But here, 5 on 5. This is going to be absolutely bloody, especially considering a little bit of a flanky flank coming out. But Swarm, oh, Swarm, they all line up. John's going to strike. It's all down to Norm. 1v4 this time. Looking to right. What the pass jet could not. Bouquet waiting in lie. Perfect from Cumberland to get it done. 14-14. We go to triple overtime.
Overtime.
See, how many of these overtimes we got on the docket, man? I mean, back and forth, it's crazy that Pace, grab advantage, can't close it. Grab advantage, can't close it. Cumberland, at some point, they're going to win one of these defensive rounds, and that's when Pace are in trouble.
Right here.
Back timeout. Like Cumberland, the one to take this one. So I think that begs the question, what are they talking about? Because here's what I do know, Seymour. The defense hasn't really worked out these overtime rounds. It's not been ideal. And, well, clearly there's something that their coaching staff has seen. I'm hoping that whatever that combo is, could be the adjustment that Cumberland need.
I think a lot of it comes down to Pace are not allowing these first bloods to come through for Cumberland. And on the defensive side, it's tough to make this double duelist work. You are looking at Swarm to make that play, Vincent, to inject the Reyna into the play and hope that Swarm can come out with 2-1 kill, really anything of value. The past couple of rounds on defense, Swarm hasn't been able to make those plays. So a little bit of a readjustment here. Swarm playing in tube. Let's see if this can change the pace.
Speaking of adjustments, look at how far up John is as well.
Spotted there. A little bit of damage. Tick down to 87.
Yeah, but still so deep. That's a lot of information, and you see how Pace are instantly responding with this push today.
Yeah, Cumberland are setting up for a full flank. And they're going to give this one up. Ren just has to play their life. Does one better, and Kay's going to double down. Now the flank. Everybody's collapsing. Ren gets 3. It's down to Zin. Shut down by Ren. And Cumberland, they've cracked the code. Match point.
Switching sides.
I told you, you can't give Cumberland that much time to figure it out because they sure will. 32 frags for Norm, but it's seemingly not enough to carry Pace over the edge. And now, Pace are the ones up against the wall. But Seymour, this is a familiar state that they've been in. They know what to deal with. They know what to do because they've been here quite a while, actually. And you think back to all of those regulation rounds. Comeback that they made. It was 5 in a row to push it to overtime.
Stealing sight.
I'm remembering. Cumberland getting back to A. Remember, post plant. I mean, that's been allowed to Pace gold. So guaranteed to get the spike down. And that's once again going to be the modus operandi here for Pace.
Here we go, Swarm. Ask and Swarm delivers. Infamy finds the trade. 4-on-4 for the retake. Plant is down. Ren now up and above, looking for more Infamy. A second one. It's going to allow an avenue in for Pace, and now to start to collapse here. It seems like they want to wait for the heal. The Sage back to full HP. Ren take down to 20. Smokes are down, and there's space to work back into this one. Vortex up and above finds Gerardo. 2 versus 4 for Cumberland to hopefully clutch. It's all up to K. The killjoy of Cumberland. Siddiq gonna force them into an unfortunate circumstance, and Vortex gives us another overtime.
Was that important?
Well, there you go. Pace, again, doubling down on this post-plant scenario where they give the site, play for the retake, and they do it again. Calling their own shots and delivering when asked. That's Pace Gold way. Say goodbye to the possibility of the ops. Those have long since been gone here in these overtime periods. Head into third? I'm already lost track.
Here.
This is our third, right?
It's 15-15. I think this is quad overtime.
Yeah, this is fourth. Listen, I told you, I'm already losing track. My brain is mush.
You've lost the plot.
Yeah, it's suggesting I ever had it.
Oh, John's got the perfect bait. Swarm hasn't played on this yellow bin for quite a while, but now it's going to be known. Spraying on through. Norm gets it. First blood, and now they slow down. Norm's going to jump over towards yellow. Wall looking to lead to a safe haven of a B plant, but there's a flank unfolding. Ren, can you be the difference for your team?
I mean, he has been so many times.
People are watching this one. They're expecting this. And the uncertainty... I mean, Pace are trapped. Ren doesn't have to do anything but wait.
Yeah, and this is the communication from Cumberland, letting Ren know that, hey, we aren't seeing anything on site at B, which means that they're stuck.
I mean, Ren
These are probably looking your way. Time to chill out and wait.
has to clear through the walls, so a little bit forward, walls down. Ren back into the corner. 34 seconds. It's B or nothing. Zin's going to re-clear on the backside. Ren gets spotted. And it's go time now. Pace, they know they have numbers on site. Wall is down. Gerardo looking to stop the plant, but it's not going to happen. Plant is in. Can they get out, though? Vortex, Siddiq, everybody's down. Infinity. Not long for the round. Cumberland, again, find themselves match point.
And here we go. Pace, they may have found a couple of chances towards the back end of this one.
Switching
Close
sides.
this map out.
Match point.
Now, Cumberland's third attempt at that. See if they can do so. 1 in regulation, now 2 in a row here in overtime. On the distance and some. Around, what, 32? Talking about that op that was sort of given up for a little while. Both sides. Ace picked one up. Norm's got it in his back pocket. He's out towards mid.
Wall raised.
Infinity, early preparations. The wall is up. That's not going to stop Cumberland. Ren spotted by Siddiq on the disengage. Through mid, Norm expecting the aggression, but the shot misses. And it's a swing back the way of the Phoenix. Rising back into the round.
That's so tough. Norm's been hitting everything, all the sitters, and that's the one he misses, and it could be the one that he really needed. Swarm just taking away a lot of the tension from these individuals. Vortex unaware.
Yeah, not getting the communication from the rest of the team. K is going to push on down Siddiq in a 1 versus 4. That's it. It's done. Cumberland, it took a while, but they take their map pick of Icebox.
17 to 15. And I mean, it was by no means an easy feat. This was all the way. And despite the fact that Cumberland, they look so darn good throughout. I mean, just the first half, and then they come back through. They put together pretty much the same situation at the beginning of the second half. I thought, okay, they're going to close it. But bit by bit, 1 round by 1 round. I mean, these guys were making the comeback, and Norm was really powering that. I mean, gotta
Oh,
shout out Norm in particular.
Norm and Infinity both. I mean, the way that Infinity stepped up in the back half of both of those halves, it was just it's something that you can't really teach for a lot of players. The capabilities to keep a level mind throughout all of those rounds after being beaten and bruised. I mean, they were 7-1 down. If you asked me, Vincent, when they were down 7-1, that we are going to go to quadruple overtime, I would have called you a freaking maniac. I would not have expected them to make that comeback, but you have to give the respect to Pace Gold for what they did on Icebox. But, when we do get to take a look at the stats, I think we got to shift our focus over towards Cumberland a little bit, because I think for Cumberland and what they were able to do in towards the overtime, especially not just the last overtime, but the I think the third overtime that we saw as well, Vincent, they take a timeout. And throughout that timeout, they knew that a lot of their, I'd say, negatives in the second half of this game came from you didn't see as much impact from Swarm. What do we get in overtimes 3 and 4? Swarm repositions across the entirety of Icebox every single time on their defense, and it pays off so well.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and I think that there's a lot of individuals to talk about on this Cumberland squad in general. Storm's the obvious one to come to mind, but Ren had such huge impact throughout the game. And I think Kay, not so quietly, but not the player that we were immediately going towards, because they weren't the ones like at the tip of the spear, weren't really aggressive, not in that duelist role, but they were really consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Mid round, Kay had so many impactful moments. And I think that's actually true across the board. I think that's why, for me, Cumberland really deserved to win, because so much of this was each individual for Cumberland having one of those big moments, or more than one.
I mean, Kay, Gerardo, John, how many times in that first half did we see them stop a spike plant from Pace's attack? Countless times. And it seemed to be an issue when they were going, down for so long. And, eventually Pace figured it out. They started to climb on back, but in the end, Cumberland, that consistency that you're talking about, I mean, you look to consistency to win games. Pace, they had the clutch, they had the spunk, and honestly, they made it look fantastic. It was a very entertaining Icebox, but I mean, for Cumberland, they're going to be wiping some sweat off their forehead, taking that win, and I'm sure they're going to hold it close heading into this map number 2, Vincent. Lotus coming up next. We're going to have to a quick little break. Things set up. Map 2 on the way. Welcome back to the Nationals for our Champions Division. We're into the quarterfinals, Vincent, and this one has been so entertaining. Cumberland Maroon, Pace Gold, and it goes to quadruple overtime in our map number one. Cumberland, they're feeling the pressure after what was a very swift round of 16 matchup, but they get into Icebox, their map pick, they win it 17-15. Now looking to ride that success as we're heading into Lotus map 2.
Yeah, and listen, you know what? I think Pace actually played a fantastic Icebox. They made some mistakes. You can't win both pistols and then lose both anti-eco rounds. And it wasn't even against a force buy. It was against sheriffs, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I'll be the first to admit it, but they made the best of that bad situation once it happened. And you know what? Pushing it to overtime, the fact that they even made it to overtime, Seymour, was impressive to me.
Yeah.
So as we look towards Lotus, I think that this team Pace has a good head on their shoulders.
Well, don't worry, you weren't the first to mention it. I mentioned it back in Icebox alone. I mean, it's definitely a mistake that has to be fixed heading into towards Lotus. If you're going to win both of those pistols, you need to convert that second round. And the way that Pace played the second part of those halves, if they win those second rounds, we're looking at a totally different game. It took a little bit for Pace to kind of get used to swapping sides or which side they were on. But once they got settled, they're deadly, especially in those clutch situations. If Pace can figure out the middle rotational aspect towards these rounds, and Lotus is something where those rotational aspects are really big. Catching the change ups to sites that we're going to be seeing for these executes. If Pace can figure that portion out, I think Cumberland might be in trouble, especially heading into a map where Pace have chosen to come to Lotus. I mean, this is the staple of collegiate Valorant, so I wouldn't expect this to, be a surprise for Cumberland at all. But Pace want to play Lotus. They want to start off on the attacking side first. I'm looking at them to kind of blow open the series.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And as we take a peek at this agent select, right? Things that jump out to me, right? Continuing that double duelist situation, right? That's definitely something to think about. And I mean, something that I think clearly worked for Cumberland over on Icebox, right? I mean, their game plan was sound, and they were able to make those individual duelists work out. I mean, we talked for days, it felt like, about Swarm. But on the other side of things, we got Cytic under the Fade, which is going to be interesting, I think. And particularly for me, I'm looking towards that Fade as something I haven't seen very much recently. I feel like we've seen a bunch more Gecko outside of the Fade as sort of that secondary initiator role. But I'm down to watch the Fade work.
Yeah, me too. I think Fade has a healthy spot somewhere in the meta. I'm kind of reaching here for this one, but you have to
let's
look.
hear it.
You have to look at Fade in the aspect of if the other team picks Sky, Fade can work. If the other team picks, maybe a Gecko these days, I don't really see the Fade having as much impact as a Gecko would. But with the change up to Sky, Fade definitely has a spot, at least in this matchup that we see in the agent selection. And Cytic had plenty to say on the Sova. I'm excited to see what this Fade could do.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that, maybe the Gecko is kind of S tier right now, but with nerfs to Sky, maybe it's not quite as good as it was, and so Fade has a little bit more space to work, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things where Sky's been knocked down a peg, and I wouldn't say Fade has been elevated, but I think Sky kind of being knocked down a peg gives Fade that. All right, let's see if it'll work.
Here's my problem, Seymour. I agree that Sky has been knocked down a peg. For me, Fade is like 3 pegs away.
Hey,
and I just don't know.
Like I said, I was reaching.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You did say that. Covered yourself off. I get it.
I think Cytic
backtracking before you even make a statement.
Where the Fade is going to lack in utility, especially in those transitional moments, Cytic's going to pick up in the clutch.
I'm down to see that. I was a big fan of what Cytic was putting together. I mean, you talked about his performance on Icebox, and you and I are in full agreement in regard to being impressed with that, for sure.
Okay, split to B for the attackers. Cumberland looking to pick up the pace here. Norm's going to get caught by the paranoia, try to do something fancy, but Gerardo not going to let that happen. Turret's giving things away. The Prowler's going to get nothing. Like the info. There's a gap in the smoke. Swarm's going to take advantage of that one. 4v3.
That was massive from Swarm.
They're wrapping it A.
There's no guarantee that this is even a B hit. They're all 3 of these final pace players ready and waiting to retake B, but the spike's over an A, and Swarm's cutting off the rotates.
Swarm. Okay.
Okay, never mind. I mean, that was good positioning, bad gameplay.
I mean, that's just infamy. That's the infamy effect. Swapping off the Sage for the Viper. It's double controller.
Makes you whiff?
That Sage performance may be. Dark cover's making this one a little bit awkward right now. Pace are a little bit sandwiched between the smokes. And John Valorant in for the surprise. Infamy not surprised at all. Not phased whatsoever. Diffuse being stuck. Ren's not going to get the spam through. That's Pace winning yet another pistol round.
Oh, man. Pace. 3 for 3. Now, I hope they don't go 3 for 3 in something else that might be coming soon, because that would be wild. And actually, Cumberland, for the first time, actually force spike on the second round. This is interesting. And I think that to me, I don't think Cumberland do this unless they had the success in the second round
There.
like in the second round Thrifties that they did on Icebox.
Well,
There's one player here at A.
I think it doesn't matter what you do here. If you're Pace, you need a win. Nothing else. And it looks like Ren's going to play off that paranoia. Acidic blindsided by the Omen's utility. And that is the A site fallen. Not like this.
The problem is getting back in here. There's just a lot of space to cover, and look at how far forward Cumberland are on this hole. No means going to be an easy one. I don't even think this paranoia is going to reach everyone. Yeah, it wouldn't have. The nanoswarm cuts them off, and this is almost done before it's begun.
That paranoia hits neither Ren nor Gerardo. So the crossfire stays true. They cut them to pieces, and it's happening again. The time low, the health low. A team ace. The Thrifty works out, and Cumberland, they strike again.
Oh my goodness. Another one. They pull it off. I can't believe that they've gone 3 for 3 in pistols, only to get 3 for 3 in forced buy. Well, not even forced buy, in Thrifty. I'll just call it Thrifty because I know that was a forced buy, but still. Works out the same. And I mean, Pace, they're in another situation where they are forced onto the eco. Can you help me understand the norm decision to buy half armor but have a classic?
Send it.
Like maybe I'm not like, listen, I will admit my Valorant meta knowledge is a little bit behind. Is that something people are doing nowadays?
I don't think so, but, you know, like I said, send it. Why not? C
Fair
is
enough.
wide open for the taking. You know, Pace, I love this stack to A. It works out for a kill, but they've given up the rest of the map. And this is it's just the way she goes when it comes down to Lotus. You want to stack one side, well, the attackers, like, okay, we'll just take the other side of the map. And now K, with all the space in the world, gonna be able to rip apart Cumberland, or sorry, Pace. And what comes next? Ace are fighting back from this one. Infamy's found two, and this has swung into a 1 versus 3. So Pace now on the retake. Getting ready for the clutch here. Gerardo swings out, looking for 2. 1 versus 1. Gerardo for everything. The Bulldog. Gerardo is the dog.
And he's barking up a storm right now. Cumberland, I mean, it should never have been that close. Let's be real, very clear about that situation. But still, making it look very nice, very classy. The singular guiding light as well for Gerardo to push that over the edge. Cumberland Phoenix are looking and feeling good off the back of that. Though damage-wise, would have been a bonus. Seymour, now not so much. It's just the buy round.
Oh, boy. Now we're cooking with gas, Vincent. This Pace show that even with pistols, even with a Thrifty of their own, you just don't want to count this team out. Ren with the showstopper going all the way into the deep end. And he's swimming. Zin finally trades out, but the damage is so done.
Infamy's got a nice angle right now. Not going to be able to, like, deny any plants or anything, but as that smoke fades, there's a possibility that somebody might be out in the open.
Swarm's going to get healed by the regrowth. Trailblazer's going to lead for Swarm to peek on in, but Zin through mid. Waterfall's going to bring this back into a 2 versus 2. K re-aggresses. 1v2 for Siddiq, and no clutch this time for Mr. Siddiq. Swarm's going to let him know that Otis may be a new sheriff in this town.
It's tough for Zen, who was really making a lot of moves in that back site towards CT. Did a lot of good work. And unfortunately, it just amounts to not nothing, but not enough, more aptly. This is a buy reminiscent of the Cumberland Phoenix buy in round 2 of this map. Stingers, 4 of them actually.
Cutting their
Guardian as well.
cutting their vision.
Okay, this is a little bit of a change up. The Singers take me back a couple metas. It's working out. Norm's gonna escape with 5 HP. They don't have a Sky. Norm's just getting information, and the longer that Norm stays alive, the longer it takes for Cumberland to get the spike planted.
That's true, but while they're taking that time,
Oh, Jaredo.
Yeah, he's found a lot of good positioning here. So much space, and I think Vortex has heard him fall back away, but that's going to be just fine. Dark cover gets popped up, and now Haze, Crossfire, set up. Vortex is going to have to get creative, and with the dark cover out, he's doing just that.
Paranoia, Infamy gets the trade. Cover is going to give them some space to fight for this one, but K swings wide, and a triple kill out of the Killjoy continues to keep Cumberland in the lead. After taking that Thrifty in round 2, 4 unanswered rounds. You thought maybe that pace had found their way, but not able to stabilize throughout the consistency of that round.
I mean, another close but no cigar moment for Pace, which is becoming a bit of a pattern here, Seymour, and a concerning one as we get deeper into the game. It's still early, so I'm not worried yet. But I would say the back of my head, you know, I'm getting the little, I'm getting a little bit of some spider sense in the back of my mind, you know? No, not familiar, just me. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. I'm a weird guy.
Such a
okay,
nerd.
You can say it. You are not.
I mean,
You and me talking about video games? You're late on Monday night? Yeah, okay. I'm the nerd.
Oh, why did you just tell me it's Monday? Oh,
Sorry, my bad. Oh my goodness, Swarm. Look at this spot.
I love it. Oh, the Empress. Oh, it's run out, so Swarm's not going to get that overheal right away. Going to have to go to the regrowth from Jaredo. It's all eyes forward. No flanks from Pace Gold. In fact, there's a flank coming out from K. Slowly but surely, Norm with the showstopper looking to open up this retake. Infamy, second one's in. A third. The flank from K. Gonna have to be the dagger, and K now chance for the 1v4. Spike getting defused. K for all 4. No! Zin! Ice cold in the moment.
Saving grace there is that Zen has the time to get the half, doesn't necessarily have to stick it. Kane nearly had it, and honestly, if they had just popped the lockdown, there might have been a world where that doesn't go so crazy, but they didn't want to give up their timing on the flank. Would have given it away immediately, and so instead, Pace win their first round since the opening pistol. And it's, I mean, look at the buy. This tells you how close it's been, Seymour. It's not great. It's still a bit of a struggle. There's a Bucky, if I'm not mistaken, here somewhere for Cumberland. They're not looking perfect.
No, Cumberland might be up, but these rounds have been a backyard brawl. Down to 1v2s, 1v1s. It has been anything but clean for the Phoenix. A lockdown early on for the attackers. This is all bait. I wouldn't expect C to be the last point of contact for this team, especially considering the lockdown gets destroyed by the paint chills. Oh, and swarms get spotted by the turrets, so they know somebody's through. Is the communication here as well? Norm has given this one up, and the B side has fallen. A full wrap. Things have split around, and Swarm set up at the Bucky of Ren. Norm has zero clue what's happening. And this could be devastating. Pace gonna have to retake with less numbers. Vortex gonna be caught by the paranoia. Spike now leading over towards C, and K is running them down with the rest of the team. John, K, and Ren. Everybody having a little piece of the pie here from Cumberland.
They've taken 2 sites. That's how powerful the Cumberland take was.
And now Swarm.
Not just B, but C too.
Zin's out here. Gonna have to peek through the smoke dry. And John waiting alongside Jaredo. Cumberland win out. Not a fancy buy. Not a strong economy. just the will to survive.
Well, Pace's gonna have to be even more strong-willed than ever as they get to talk about what's going down. We get the tack timeout for Pace for this half. What is the problem? And to do some speculating, Seymour, I think that right now, I think Pace need to worry about actually retaking like they did on Icebox, because they're losing so much on the take itself. Every time Cumberland are in a post plant, they have a man advantage. I mean, even that last round where, honestly, Pace didn't particularly allow themselves to lose the man advantage on the take. Cumberland just like continued pushing a different site until they overwhelmed them.
It's the same issues that we saw in Icebox for Pace. The only issue is you add another bomb site. And I think that adds a little bit more difficulty for this team of Pace, who already struggled with, the idea back on Icebox of, where do we stand? Where do we play? How do we stop these really quick adaptations that Cumberland are calling in the mid rounds? I think for Pace, where they're kind of putting all their eggs into one bucket, they're lacking in the diversity of map control on all three of these sites, and that is just allowing Cumberland really to flex through the map and kind of bend this Pace team to their will.
Well, this round is a bit wild. Pace, I mean, don't really have the weaponry at hand. They fought for the B orb, took that fight. And in turn, allowed for C to be overwhelmed. Storm. How many can he get?
No more than that. So
Just 3, I guess.
Vandal recovered for Zen, 45 health. Dark cover going to be reapplied. And take a look at Gerardo is making the flank all the way through Waterfall. No matter what Pace can do, they cannot avoid being flanked by somebody. And they're clueless to the idea. Gerardo's going to put it away. Clean lineup. And the Phoenix continue to add rounds to their tally yet again. It might not be as clean as the Icebox started, but it's still just as confident, just as decisive.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, numbers-wise, it's almost as clean. But it's certainly been a lot closer in these rounds. 4 ultimates for Pace. This is a must-win round for them. In order to stay reasonably in this half, I need to see something better.
Where are you?
I mean, down the line.
Opening duels again. Rat's just going to be fighting this one alongside the rest of the team. Pace tried to meet them face to face, but again, when the gloves are off, Cumberland's punches are just so heavyweight. They just continue to get knocked down. K now. Infamy is going to bait him out. 2 versus 2. Spike
It's a little
planted.
bit overzealous. Cumberland Phoenix have pushed themselves very far forward.
But look at John. Off angle. Nobody's suspecting it.
Yeah, I mean, great bailout there from John, but Cumberland Phoenix, that's one of those moments where the confidence is flowing, and they just take a couple more 1v1s than they probably should have. Fortunately, doesn't work out too well for Pace in the end, so Cumberland Phoenix just fine. Something to keep note of. It can be the type of overheating that allows a Pace to maybe run back 5 rounds, push it to OT. You know? Just throwing it out there.
I know.
Call me a hater all you want, Seymour.
Hey, look, if there's there's 3 things guaranteed in life, apparently: death, taxes, and Pace going to overtime versus any team that they're playing.
Player standing.
Yeah. Dude, hold on a second. Just ignore what happened on the screen. Did you see how many Pace players were blind, stunned, or like just stuck in a corner, like staring at a wall?
As a matter of fact, I didn't. Can you tell me how many?
Yeah, it was all of them, actually.
Well, maybe not Infamy.
I mean, yeah, but like all those players that died today, again, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but everybody looked like they were so stunned or blind.
All right, team. We live together, we die together.
much as this world hurt me,
Emphasis on the die together part
and I will
for that
kill
last
to
round,
defend it.
unfortunately, for Pace.
I mean, I need like Irwin giving his speech to me to run out A the way that Pace have been running out to A. I feel I honestly.
You're saying your IGL calls that and you're not going?
I mean,
You're saying
I don't even know if you understand that.
if I understand what?
Okay, exactly. Moving forward, Pace. I like this round call. A lot more patient, a lot less kind of up in the face of these Cumberland players. It's going to come down to these duels. And they have the 2-1-2 split that I was hoping to see here. And that's going to allow for Vortex to maybe get a quick rotation. But because of how far back Siddiq and Norm are pushed, it's going to give so much space to Cumberland to push it towards A. Spike getting planted. 2 versus 3. And Ren is already rotating through B. Okay, he's going to back up.
3-on-2 though. I mean, time is really gone, but still, my brain's telling me at this point, go for it. Fumi's in, stepped up.
One
Ren is
enemy
so far
remaining.
removed, and well, it simply doesn't matter anymore. Swarm's got it on lockdown. He's fine, no problems.
Last round in the half.
Cumberland Phoenix have 9.
Spend it all before it's
And-
gone.
I mean, you just kind of look down the board and you see Ren at the bottom of the scoreboard and hasn't been required. And I think that is enough to tell you all you need to know about how dominant Cumberland Phoenix have been this map.
And okay, I hate to keep putting the limelight on Swarm.
No, you don't. You love it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know one thing about me is that if I'm gonna be a hater to anything, it's a Reyna pick. But if you're gonna
That's
have
true.
if you're gonna have a Reyna pick, it's gotta do what Swarm is doing exactly to Pace right now. I mean, always involved in multi-kills galore right now. They just cannot stop Swarm. And on top of
Swarm's
Swarm,
doing what he needs to do.
yeah, and on top of that, then you have K for the follow-up. This has just been fantastic. What is that Seeker doing eventually? What? Did you, am I the
Yeah.
only one that saw that?
No, I saw that too.
Spike
That
planted.
Seeker was confused. You got stuck in a loop. Lockdown goes through. Vortex
Okay,
defends it.
but here's K. Infamy's going to be
That's K.
watching it. All right, 2 versus 3. And this is the best we've seen Pace for a couple of rounds now. And they're going to be able to re-aggress from this one. But John gets
Oh,
detained.
no.
Oh, no. The Shrouded Step is a little bit too early.
Sentry.
And now it's up to Ren to really block this one. John's going to get gunned up and nobody's going to check for John. Infamy the trade. Ren to the 1v1 time. It's taken away. And Ren's just waiting.
Is there enough? I think there is. It's close, but I think they've got it. And that they do.
1.4. Oh my goodness.
Switching sides.
The tragedy there as well is if Ren just doesn't have the nade out, they win. But instead, as the smoke fades, nade in hand, paint shells the death of them. 9-3, a dominant half though, and there's no silver linings this time. Remember all the positive lines we were spouting about Pace over on Icebox? We're like, what a recovery, looking way better. I mean, that big clutch. None of that here. Pace are gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. No big momentum swing, just flat out, pedal to the metal.
Gas, no brakes, you say?
Oh yeah.
I'm in for this one. Early mound control. Already set up. Pistols. It's 3-0 for Pace. Can Cumberland
Blinded. Heal.
put the dagger in right now? Off angle for Norm, and it's going to pay off. First blood onto Ren.
Satchel out.
And Norm's going to be able to, well, maybe get away. I had to a little bit. And now they're heading into the
Little dicey.
domain of K.
True. And Kay's actually tucked into this very aggressive cubby. Infamy seems locked and loaded, ready for it.
Dark cover. That's going to give K a bit of space to fight here into the smoke, and not today. Swarm, though, already hot in their heels. Spike has reached the site, but Zin's in trouble. We're going to make the most of this one. Zin's going to find two. The Sheriff putting in absolute work. It's all down to Swarm. The pistols for Pace have been out of this world, and they're looking for another one. Swarm for the 1v4. Clears the corner. Swarm going for the ace. 60 HP for Cynic. Swarm's going to get the trade, though. Vortex wins it out. It was close, but Pace stay flawless in the pistols. Now for the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. Most teams breathe a sigh of relief, thinking, we got the pistol out of the way, now we can farm. Not true. For Pace Gold, now it's time for them to start sweating bullets. Because they got bullets flying right at them.
Yeah. Plenty.
Force buy for Cumberland. I mean, again, I think Cumberland adjusting to the fact that they've had so much success.
Cover going out.
And the fact that it got so close in that, like, 1v4? Was it a 1v3? I don't know, but Swarm almost had it, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you give Arena in the pistol round a Ghost, and they can topple an Empire. You give Infamy an Outlaw, and he'll give you a double kill.
Can topple the Swarm, that's for sure.
At least that is a true statement.
So, will Pace finally find their first anti-eco win?
Oh, I mean, look how scared they are. They're checking everything. They are headed to the supermarket with a 10-page thesis on what to get.
And they've got coupons. They got a whole booklet of coupons ready to go.
Oh, yeah. Gyarados, Guardian in hand. Not going to get away. 4 versus 2. John now looking to enter the site alongside Ren, but John going to be spotted. Norm up top. Tapping away with this gun. Could this be it? 5th round on the horizon, and Ren's got to make it all happen here. Satchel into the back line. Stinger's going to be picked up. Swings around, and that's that. 5 rounds for Pace. They finally get a second after the pistol.
And Norm saying goodbye and absolutely not to Johnny Val. We'll get Cumberland to finally be stopped once, at the very least. Pace Gold. I mean, true sigh of relief, actually. It has to be. Because I was ready. I was ready to see that continue. And there ain't no way. Look at what Swarm's got.
Say it with me. There ain't no party like a Pace Gold party. Because a Pace Gold party don't stop. Why didn't you say it with me? You knew it was coming.
I genuinely had no idea where you were going with that. So I was learning with the audience.
Norm, lovely paranoia play off of that. Swarm didn't know what hit him.
Yeah, because he was blind. Couldn't see a darn thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, my color caster.
I'm here to state the obvious.
5v2. Phoenix, you got pistols in your hands. Possibly a dream of clutching this one up, but...
Wait, hold on. I don't think they got this anymore.
No, I mean, the time is just so far down. Zin's going to bring John with 3 HP, might I add, to his knees. Norm, flawless round for Pace Gold. Welcome back to Lotus.
I said they had to do it the old-fashioned way. No momentum coming into the second half. Just flat 9-3. You know? Old-fashioned curse. Seems like that's what Pace do just fine. Handling that with ease. And Swarm not having to take too much off the back of that one. I was concerned that Swarm wouldn't have a Vandal into this round, but he does. K, on the other hand, has just a Stinger. But here's where I think a lot of Pace's defense struggled, was controlling Root. They really didn't have a good job doing so. Cumberland putting a lot of pressure on that area of the map. 3 players strong, and they keep going.
Don't stop going, and they don't stop going, and now they're flanking.
You should run.
And Infamy's got a lot to worry about. First blood of the round. Attacker's going to drop that lockdown, but here come Cumberland. Lockdown's going to put John into a little bit of a tough spot, but that's not going to stop John from getting a double kill. Back into the smoke. John looking for more. Spraying through. Finds Vortex. Going to put the round away. No, it's Gerardo. Double digits for the Phoenix.
There we go. Keeping it very nice in the first gun round of the half. And I mean, I'm not ready to call it yet here. I mean, Cumberland, nice win, but there's still much more for Pace Gold to offer in this round. But man, do they make it look simple, Seymour. I think that's the terrifying prospect.
Turret out.
And we're gonna see a little bit of a different look. A little bit of duo aggression. 2 towards B, 2 towards C. Gonna take Mound and push up through Pillar as well.
Norm. Oh, still finds it. Norm gets 2. Off of the guiding light. Gerardo gonna make it a 2 for 1, so you don't walk away empty-handed, but not the way that I'm sure the Phoenix were hoping that went.
Look at how they've adjusted Cumberland. They've grouped back up, looking towards B, all 3, but I think they might stick together in this, even though it's not going to be a B push. They're re-pushing, re-clearing, and ensuring that nothing further can be taken over in that site. As soon as the utility starts to fly out here at A, they can stick together, which in a 3-on-4, sort of an ideal scenario, if there is an ideal.
Don't split up and look for clues. You do it together.
That's right. That's all that Shaggy and Scoob ever wanted, Seymour.
Just to
Why couldn't Fred give it to
Spike
him?
planted.
together in the moment. It's the meaning of Scooby-Doo. Smokes out, walls up, and okay, he's gonna tap the revolving door, but Infamy opens things up. John brings it into a 2 versus 2. Now we got a round and the smoke onto the bomb. Norm gonna pop that showstopper. Hits nothing. Time dwindling. John making the noise. Norm's gonna find a 3rd one, and Ren's got 0 HP. Vortex is gonna make sure of that.
Not ready yet. Cover going out.
Nicely done. I mean, I said Pace, not done yet. Not out of this thing. And here they are, forcing a tactical timeout. And it's a tactical timeout that I think Cumberland Phoenix, I'm actually not sure that they particularly need. I haven't seen any issues from their defensive side yet. At least not that it really stuck out to me. I think they've played it pretty well. Pace have just been able to play a bit of a better game, dealt with some aggression in that double B, double C, or double B, double C push round. But outside of that, we'll get into, I think the back half of this game where Pace, they've already done the hard part, getting back into this. Now they just need to close.
They weren't able to do it back on Icebox. Maybe their map choice of Lotus, they could get it done. You know, I was thinking 9-3 on Lotus. I've seen worse deficits. It's been troublesome for sure for Pace. It takes them a while to get set up, get their bearings in the map, but it seems like, unlike Icebox, this is a better chance for a map win, and they definitely are making this attacking side look a lot better. I mean, Lotus in general, you want to be on the attacking side in the second half. I think that Pace, I mean, right now, it's kind of do or die for them. It quite literally is do or die for them. If they want to see Ascent, if they want to have a chance for those semifinals,
If they want.
they have to put their foot down.
Yeah. And their foot, it's currently in the floorboards. That's the vibe I'm getting. Cumberland Phoenix, I mean, they're the ones kind of having the second thoughts about, hey, what's happening? We had a 9-3 lead. It's I mean, it's not evaporated. They've got rounds.
It's like my favorite place to go, 7-Eleven.
There's not 7-Elevens in Canada, is
There
there?
are 7-Elevens in Canada.
Okay. I mean, that's a fake place, according to me, so who knows?
How dare you?
Shadows traveling.
You should expect this from me. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm truly a menace. We'll see if Pace can find themselves to a real place called the semifinals.
Yeah. Huh.
Toxins going up.
Guiding light. Actually doesn't hit its mark. No information.
Toxin screen down.
Dude, that's massive. Even if it doesn't get the blind, right? The info
Might prompt.
confirmation.
Actually might prompt some aggression here from the two of them. And Infamy is just looking to lurk, play their life, hopefully open up an angle. But do you check for Swarm Bulldog? This is what I imagine is going to be a Vandal. It's a Vandal tucked away, and Infamy doesn't clear it.
Bomb buddy out.
Where do you go from here for Pace? Losing your only A presence. Not ideal. Guiding Light gonna get confirmation at a B player. And, well, to be honest, the Trailblazer
30
doesn't really get
seconds left.
anything further off the back of that. Gerardo does.
Oh,
John,
man.
meantime, he's got
Player
more.
standing.
It's falling apart to pieces. Spaghetti, it's all over the floor. Vincent and Pace, they got to clean it up soon. 12-7, Cumberland fine match point in the series. And here we go. Timeout called from Pace. How do you rally back from this one?
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the exact answer, but here's what I would do. Here's what I want to see. I want to actually see a little bit more of a pace change coming into this next round. I know that was not meant to be a pun, I promise. But I want to see them get a little bit more active. Try and find something a bit faster and looser. I think the way they've been approaching this half, it's been good thus far. That last round, they were poking and prodding across the map, had a player out towards A, that player goes down, and so they lose all that control. They're forced to make a decision, and Phoenix have the information about where most of that's going to be heading. So, change of pace.
Change your pace.
Or pace.
Yeah. Into now what needs to be 5 rounds back to back to back to back to back. Pace,
To back.
not, thank you. Not the best buy you're going to be hoping for from this one, but we've seen more with less.
It's scrappy, but look, this is Pace Gold we're talking about. This is a scrappy team. Team that pushed us to quad OT just one map ago.
Oh.
Down big.
And they've chosen right.
Got to deal with all of the utility, though, from the KJ. So there is time that can be bought. Guiding Light finds nothing out at Mound, and that's going to cause a rotation.
Yeah.
They push B. This is massive amount of info right now for Cumberland.
For Pace, you need to start working fast here because here come the rotations. Everybody looking to get set in, and K hasn't even heard anything. Here's the utility. Nightfall all the way into the back. Only person to get caught by that one's going to be K, and here's the Swarm grenades to hopefully cut them up. Swarm enters into the site. Wall and dark cover blocking it, and here it goes. Rene around the corner. Rene and Swarm both going to find some kills into the retake. The Haunt doesn't get destroyed. John on the flank. 4v2. Siddiq and Norm now all down to Siddiq, and that is it. Cumberland move on. The semifinals are calling. You can't spell Cumberland without land, and it looks like they've landed on their feet here, Vincent. Lotus goes their way. Icebox, a little bit troublesome, but it's all well that ends well for the Cumberland Phoenix.
Yeah, and you know what? You come into this game, and I said that, like, I had a feeling that Cumberland probably the expected victors, but I'll be real. I'm so impressed actually with what Pace Gold put together. I think they played a really strong Icebox. The comeback, the story that was a brewing on Lotus as well.
Yeah.
But realistically, there's just some individual moments from Cumberland Phoenix that just were so difficult to try and find a way to overcome for Pace. And I think that you look back down the line, and Swarm was such an unstoppable force. I don't know what the first bloods were for this one, but I think he had like 7 in the
Well,
first map.
let me tell you.
Just 3. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think it was that many, but the impact that Cumberland found from Swarm and then across the board was insane.
You can't teach confidence. It's one thing you learn a lot in collegiate esports, especially with, games like Valorant, is you can't teach a player who can just take control of the game, and it's an unstoppable force. And Swarm was that unstoppable force across both Icebox and Lotus. Once you saw Swarm slow down, Pace started to catch up, and in Lotus, you really never saw that. 21-11, 290 ACS. 3 first kills, like you said, it's not incredible, but a lot of that came down to the rest of the team really stepping up in the opening of the rounds. And where Cumberland really shines above all, and it's the stat that you will not see, is in their middle round adaptations. How quickly they were able to maneuver the map off of just the little bits of information that they got at the start.
Yeah, you think about the last round actually there. Think about how well Cumberland made their rotations. They start out with 1 guy over at A. They're playing aggressive. They had a guiding light out mound that found nothing at all. And off the back of just that, and a little bit of information at B, they had pushed into B main a bit. They full rotate. They get all of their players back over to the site in order to play for, honestly, not even a retake. They had positioned players enough so that they were ready before the take actually happened. So, I mean, an impressive showing, I think, here from Cumberland. Pace, unfortunately, losing out here, and say goodbye to them. But, I mean, a fantastic showing, nonetheless. And I think that as much as we've put this on Swarm, there's been a lot of talk of him. I think the whole team needs to take a quick bow for Cumberland, because it was a big team effort. Again, back to Icebox, I think that the big difference for them was that everybody was having some of those step-up moments, where Pace, that wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is going to do it, Vincent, for our best of 3 tonight. A big congratulations to the Cumberland Phoenix. 2-0 to finish things off, and that's going to push them into the semifinals. It's something that you and I both would have expected from a team of their caliber, especially after the performance that they had in the round of 16 with the 2-0 sweep. I can't remember who it was against, but it was very convincing. I'll tell you that one. And, I think there's some things that you can work on for sure heading into that semifinals if you're Cumberland, but they found themselves in a really good spot towards this postseason. And I'm excited to see this team grow as the season continues to go on. But for everybody at home tuning in and enjoying, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more NECC, because we have the Rainbow Six quarterfinals, and you don't want to miss that. Vincent, any closing thoughts before we send things away?
No, it's just a fantastic time. Always a pleasure to jump on the broadcast with you, Seymour.
Oh, man, you're going to make me blush and smile. And look, I'm doing both right now. Folks, hope you enjoy. Tomorrow, we got more NECC. And don't forget to tune in next week for more action for Valorant as well. It's been a fun one, but take care. Have a great night. We'll see you next time with more NECC.